Hello everybody. Today we're going to look at some examples of how to use the sine rule. So in this first example, we've got to find the missing length AC. I'll designate it with an X there. There's no need to relabel this because we can use any version of the sine rule that we like. So let's write it out. Now we are looking for the length of a side, so therefore we want to write it out with the lowercase letters on the top. So it's A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. Now, we only ever need 2 out of the 3 parts of this. So we could use this bit, or we could use this bit, okay, or we could use these 2 pieces here. But we need to get good at identifying what we have involved in the question in order to choose the pieces. So perhaps just to start with, let's just swap everything we know from the triangle into our sine rule. So if we have A, B, and C as designated, well, we don't have A and we don't have capital A, although we could possibly find it by taking away 58 and 39 from 180. We don't have lowercase b, but we have 58 is capital B, and we do certainly have lowercase c, which is 12, and we do have sine of 39 for sine C. So this is me swapping information into the sine rule. Okay, now what are we looking for? Well, we're looking to find lowercase b, so perhaps we should swap that for an x. And this is the part of the question that we're going to be using, or part of the sine rule we're going to be using. Let's get rid of that bit there. We don't need it because we have only 1 unknown and 3 things we do know. Okay, so if we start from here, what we can do is just rearrange this to find an expression for x. So I'm going to times both sides by sine of 58. So that will leave me with x is equal to 12 times sine 58 over sine 39. And we can pop this in on our calculators to work out the value of x. 12 times sine 58 all divided by sine 39 will be 16.17. I suggest you just try this to make sure that you get the same answer as I do. Okay, moving on. Let's look at another example, but this time we're going to find an angle to see how that works. So find the measure of angle C in the triangle ABC if AC is 7, AB is 11, and angle B measures 25 degrees. Do not even start this question until you have drawn some sort of diagram. So perhaps our diagram doesn't really matter how it looks as long as we draw one, okay, and we have things in the right places. So let's say actually that is A and that we've got C here. That will mean that this is lowercase b, the 7. We've got 11 here. This is going to be our C. And that is the information we've got. Okay, so looking at this, well, we've got to find a measure of angle C, so we want that to be involved in our question. So certainly the component of this we're going to have is going to be the C's. We've also got the B angle and the B side, so we should be using the component of the sine rule that contains the C's and the B's. So let's write that out. Sine C over C equals sine B over B. And notice I've got the signs at the top because I'm looking for an angle. Okay, so put in what we do know. That's going to be that sine of C over 11 is equal to sine of 25 over 7. So from there, we can multiply both sides by 11, and that's going to isolate the thing we're looking for. So sine C is equal to 11 times sine 25 all over 7. Okay, from here, you're going to need to do that trick where we do the inverse sine function. So sine minus 1 on your calculator. And if I were you, to make sure you have no rounding error, type in the whole expression. Okay, 11 times sine 25 all divided by 7. If you press equals at that point, you should get an angle of 41.6 degrees. Now, that's good. Okay, if you've done that, brilliant. However, going back to our previous work on the ambiguous case of 2 possible angles in a triangle, we just have to think carefully about another outcome and what else this triangle might look like. So if it's possible to do, we could do 180 minus 41.6 to generate ourselves another angle that is possible, which would be 138.4. So there are two possible triangles that could be drawn, and there are two possible angles there for C. So we're going to include them both. This only happens with the sine ratio, okay, not the cosine ratio. So if you're doing this, just be a little bit careful that there could be two possibilities. Okay, from here you should be able to have a go at the exercise 8E.E3. The questions there are for you to try. Best of luck.